history, herbal medicine has preferred the simple tea as the predominant form of extraction. It's only been in the last 100 years that we've moved into tinctures, single extracts, and other forms of pulling out the most active compounds in the herb. Now, what is missing in this is that the whole herb, the nutritive benefits of the herb, are lost in this process. So the whole herb and nothing but the herb, help your herbalist. Let's take a deeper look at how to make a good tea. There are two predominant methods of making a tea. There's an infusion and a decoction. We'll look at infusion first. Infusion is kind of like when you dip that tea bag into the cup, a little like this, very simply. Rip open that tea bag, dip it in the cup, that's an infusion. But other ways of doing infusions are things like using a Bota, right? A French press. Or we could take a teapot like so with a little strainer in it. And we can put our herbs in there and make a tea that way. Typically, an infusion is done with hot water, though you can use cold water or other menstruums such as oil, vinegar, juice, or even wine. Today we're going to make an infusion with hot water using leafy herbs. Now, when it comes to infusions, the best herbs to extract are leafy herbs, such as your green leafy, flowers, more delicate herbs. These are where we don't want to add too much heat. When it comes to the decoction, on the other hand, we'll be using different types of herbs. A tea can be made as strong as you want, though the rule of thumb is 1 teaspoon to 1 teacup. So being an intuitive herbalist that I am, I'm going to just kind of go a little dabble of this. See, we'll fill the bottom of this up and then fill it up with water. This is going to be approximately 1 teaspoon to 1 teacup. All right, now I'm going to let this steep for about 5 to 10 minutes. Put the lid on so I don't lose any heat. And we'll be drinking tea in a few minutes. In the meantime, let's make a decoction. I've got my decoction pot here. These are one of these old Chinese teapots. I just love these. They're a great plug-in decoction pot. But a decoction is often made on the stove top in a glass pot or a metal pot, depending on what you have. So a decoction is done by lightly simmering the water versus using just hot water to begin with. So we're going to take this and we're going to lightly simmer the water. We're going to get it to a rolling boil and then turn it down and add our herbs in there. Decoctions are our ideal extraction method when we're trying to take out the medicinal compounds from tough, fibrous, root-like substances. So woods, barks, berries, mushrooms, lichens, any of these kind of tough, fibrous materials where we want to get the active compounds out of those, we're going to do that light simmer decoction method. So this could be done either in a decoction pot like this, where we're going to lightly simmer the herbs, or on the stove top, or on the top of a fireplace. Or we could do this in a crock pot. For today's decoction, we're going to use one of our tea blends called Adapting Gens, which is a whole bunch of tonic adaptogenic herbs that have kind of immune building and body supporting functions. So it's a great winter tea. We've got our water nice and boiled here, and we're going to just add in the herbs like so. Now a decoction likes to simmer for about, depending on what it is, about 15 minutes to 3 hours. We can also rebrew these herbs up and we can make it as strong as we want, depending on how robust we want this tea to be. I really like using a crock pot when making a decoction as well, because it's something I can keep in the house for a long period of time and just add herbs, add more water as we go. In fact, I'll do like an evolutionary tea where we'll start with the roots and the deep gnarly substances, and we'll slowly build up to flowers and delicate substances. Within a week, we'll have made 4 different kinds of tea in one pot. How cool is that? Many of you know of the old witch's cauldron. This whole method of boiling down herbs, that's essentially a decoction. Now this is also the basis for making all kinds of other herbal medicines. So we want to make syrups, or we want to make cordials, or even when we want to make herbal wines, we often start with a decoction. So learning a good decoction method is a great way to get expanding on all the different areas you can start to work with in herbal medicine. Now that's some good tea. As you can see, there are many methods in which you can extract herbs. And so I hope this video inspires you to go beyond the tea bag and start playing with ways in which you can bring herbal medicine back into your life. So thanks for joining me. I'm Yarrow Willard, and I hope you have an awesome day. Get out, keep herbal.